So hello and welcome back to Blake's Den, and in this video I'm going to show you how I mounted the 998cc A+ engine from my 1989 Austin Mini onto this Clarke engine stand. So to do that we need to rewind the clock back a bit. So this is the 998 A series or A+ version, the engine which was in there and I got out a while ago, and I want to put it on an engine stand which is in bits on the floor, so basically I can clean it up and tidy it up. Another reason I want to do it is we've had a casualty. So whilst I was wheeling this round, unfortunately it fell over and the starter solenoid snapped off the starter motor. So it's probably fixable. I could probably like chemical metal it, JB Weld or something back together. But I think I'll just put a new one on. Probably better in the long run, and I'll keep this as a strategic spare. So there's a few things I need to do before I can get this onto the engine stand. The stand that I have has this universal adapter. So you can sort of bend and move these round any angle you want, and then it's got 4 bolts, or you put 4 bolts through, does its thing, yeah, but you can get it any way you want. Now you can get special plates for the A series and A+, but I don't want one because, well, they sit in this area here, and I think for what I want to do, I want to clean this and paint this. Like, I can't get into a lot of it if I've got a plate on it. So I'm going to try and use that universal adapter up there. I know it can be done because I've seen a photograph of it, and I'll put that photograph up now. The engine in that photograph's upside down, but at least I know that'll fit on here. And there's 4 bolts that I need to use. So the 2 which hold the oil filter assembly on, and the 2 which hold the alternator bracket on. So basically I'm going to pick up those 2 bolts there and those 2 bolts there. Now, as you can see, that one's already loose, but that's because I've already had it out to measure it to order some longer bolts, which will fit my universal mount. But before I go any further, I need to get this oil filter assembly off. And I think the easiest thing to do is if I take off the oil filter now, and then undo the oil line up to here, and then undo the 2 bolts. I'll get that out of the way. I think if I just undid those bolts now, it would make it harder to undo that, and I would never get the filter off. So I might as well do this whilst it's all in situ. Got my oil filter wrench on here. Yeah, luckily it wasn't too tight. I did put this oil filter on myself, so it might be a little bit oily in here. Yep, in fact it's very oily in there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to nip that back up and then get a cloth straight away. So with some gloves on now, I'll use this tin of Swarthega, of this old tub of Swarthega. I'll unscrew that, just let it drop in there, catch all the stuff draining out of it. Now bear in mind I did drain the oil a while ago. I suppose it doesn't drain what's in the filter, does it? But yeah. Oh, of course, I just made more of a mess. Right, luckily I've got stuff on hand for when I spill oil in the garage, because it happens quite often. I've got some wood chip and stuff like that. So, right, let me tidy this up and then I'll get back to you. Right, with the oil filter off and the mess cleaned up, I'm now going to get this oil feed off, which might be a bit tricky. I suspect it's going to be quite seized. And I need to put some force into this without tipping the engine over. Yeah, that's pretty tight. I'm going to start striking this with a hammer and see what happens. Let's try that now. Yeah, that's got it. So that's loosened off now. pretty tight. So the next thing to do will be to get these bolts out, which hold the oil filter assembly on. And from memory, well, from when I popped that one out to measure it, it was very tight. So yeah, I'll get an impact socket on there, and that should be 7/16. Pretty tight, so let's see if we can get it out. Yep, exactly Loctite it in. You can see there's a band of Loctite material on there. We'll take that out. We'll whiz this one out, which is only in a couple of turns, so I didn't lose it. And then we can lift this out of the way, and that can be safely secured, ready for reassembly. The alternator bracket is 7/16, and those are nowhere near as tight because, well, it's only alternator bracket now. So we'll whiz them off and put the bracket safely away, and now we can think about mounting the plate onto here to then get it on the stand. So I just thought I'd show you this before I crack on, but these are the bolts that I bought. So 3/8 inch UNC, 3.5 inches long, in a 5/16 UNF, 3 inches long. So that's that one. And that one is for your alternator bracket. That's the 5/16. And the 3/8 one is for the oil pump. Now, or the oil filter technically. I had a bit of a problem. They sent me the bolts and they sent me UNF for this one, not UNC. But I had to ask again, but as you can see, those bolts definitely go in there. So now I just need to find a position where this bracket fits, and using a series of washers and packers and different angles, try to make this fit on the engine. A quick situation update. I took the arms off, or the fingers off, so I could then just kind of line things up better. And I think I might have found a way where this will go a bit like that. I have to hold that with my foot. This needs to come down to here, but I need to take the distributor off first, and possibly the starter motor off as well, because I don't think I'll be able to get that off with this plate on. It's not very central to the engine, so it's going to be a bit out of, beyond the centre of gravity a bit, so it's going to be a bit tippy, but I think let's take the distributor off and the starter motor off and see whether that gives us a few more options. So to get the distributor off, there's a little bolt here to whiz out. Now normally if you're taking your dizzy out, you'd want to time your engine, so when you put it back in, it's in the right place, but I'm not doing that because I've got the whole engine out of the car anyway. It'd be very easy to time it, so that's that little bracket off. A little bracket and a little bolt. I'll go up there and the pile of things to be cleaned, and this should just pull out now. A bit oily because it's come out with an engine. And then the starter motor, you've got a couple of big nuts here, and then I'll whiz them out as well, and this can come off. As I say, I broke it the other day anyway, so yeah. Alright, let's try something a bit more powerful. It'll go in, which it won't because the things are in the way. Oh dear. Right, I'm just going to have to do this the old-fashioned way. There we are, that's that cracked off. There should be another one below as well. Yeah, they were pretty tight. So I'll just whiz them out the rest of the way with this. again, I'll put all the bolts somewhere safe and label them all up. So when it comes to reassembly, I know where everything needs to go. Right, is this going to come off now? There we are. For that one starter motor. Now you can see that 24 month of 1988. So this was actually on its original starter, which makes me even more disappointed that I've broken it. Hey ho, such is life. Right, let's get back to the main event. So with them removed, a bit of jiggling and repositioning, I think I can get this stand on now, or this adapter on now. Looks about right. I've picked up all the holes, so now it's just a case of putting the nuts on and seeing if it'll stay still. I think we've got some success there. So I've nipped up all the nuts. Didn't put the spring washers on these because just how the fingers landed. They aren't. See, there's a bit of a gap here, so the fingers are wanting to bend a bit. So I can get that in there. Really, I should maybe put a bit of a packer in there or something, but I think the bolts will be strong enough. And once I've got it kind of just nipped up, I managed to hammer the whole thing along, so the whole thing rotated, and I got it a bit more central as well. So yeah, quite happy with that. I think it feels pretty secure. I'm not worried about these bolts here being and bending too much. I'm worried about them being a bit loose, but yeah, I'll just nip them. But what I'm finding is it's just kind of wanting to bend the finger behind, but the bolts be more than strong enough. It's just the whole thing just spinning now. So right, I'll make sure these are tight, and then it's going to be a case of lifting up the engine again on the stand, on the engine jack lift, and then putting this on the stand, and then crossing all your fingers that it won't fall off. Right, up she goes. So I can see a problem straight away. The angle this engine's lifting at isn't completely flat. So trying to get these two things lined up may be tricky. Let's give it a go. So what I'm thinking is if I actually go up a little bit more and actually lift up this end. It's one of those jobs where you need about 12 pairs of hands. Let's see if I can. Okay, still quite a long way up there. That is beginning to go in. Just need a little bit more. It's going. A little bit more. So the problem I've got is trying to get it at the angle I need. There we are. It's like the wheels were on the floor. There we are. So now, if I lower this down ever so gently, right, it's on the stand, but it's not on properly. I need to hammer it in a bit more, or wiggle it in a bit more. There should be a hole here where you put the handle through, and also as well, I need to drop a pin into here as well. Oh, noise alert. That goes in there. And then we're nearly lined up for a pin as well. So you turn it ever so slightly. Let's see what I've got for a pin. Just dropped a short bolt in there for the pin. And now we should be able to take all the weight off the crane. Well, we should do if I had this. Hey, it slipped a bit there. I think it was just the slack taken up in that bolt, I think. Let's go a little bit more. Yep. Superb. There we go, 1998cc A+ engine on a Clarke engine stand using the universal adapter. You can see what I mean there about the fingers. I'm not 100% happy with that, but it's solid. It's not going anywhere. You know, they're quite strong box section anyway, so I think we're all right. I think we're fine. I did try turning the engine a little bit more and had a load of antifreeze come out of it. So it's obviously still water in here in the water pump side, but now you can have a really good look at it. You can see I've got a lot of corrosion on the timing cover there. Yeah, I mean, some of it was when I was draining the coolant anyway, but yeah, it's very greasy, very oily, but you can see the original yellow underneath. So yeah, my next plan will be to block up all the holes on this, power wash it, degrease it, get all the gunk off, and then start painting it up and cleaning it up. So I hope you liked this video. If you found it useful, press that like button below. If you've got any questions as well, drop them below. I respond to all of my comments. And if you want to see more of this, then don't forget to subscribe to the channel as well, and then you'll get notified of all the latest videos. So once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.